We're going to talk about weight management, what works. A lot of the information that I'm sharing with you I get from the Journal of Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Greater than 39% of the population worldwide is classified as being obese. So what tactics work? Number one, behavioral counseling, particularly if it's intensive behavior therapy. It's highly effective for weight loss. So now what does this entail? Any behavior modification. The focus is behavior modification. Now it's difficult because we live in a society where we don't want to change our behavior. We want a quick fix. We want some magical lotion or to take a pill or to put a patch on or something like that. The last thing we want to do is change our behavior. So this is the key, the core to successful weight loss, maintenance, and sustainability. In behavior modification, the focus is on self-monitoring and setting goals and even managing your stress. And I say managing your stress, I have done a video on does stress cause weight loss? You need to see that, and I'll have a link for you and also in the description. So behavior modification, what you want when you're working with a client or when I am working with a client, it helps to have accountability. And that seems to really help a person to want to stay the course. Accountability, follow-ups. So they know that they are going to meet with you on a somewhat regular basis, and they want to make sure that their behavior is lining up so that they can get those positive outcomes. And the components that you want to focus on are small changes starting out. So in other words, you would say, if a person is eating sweets every day, and every day they eat fried foods, and every day they eat a whole lot of food, and every day they drink sweet beverages and just sodas galore, you don't want them to change all of those things at once. You may want to start off with the small change, such as, let's limit your sweets to just the weekend. And if they can focus on that, get some good tracking on that, and then you can move to other behaviors. Another component of behavioral counseling is you may need to screen for depression, because depression and overeating or depression and obesity, you see that a lot. Now we mentioned self-monitoring. Let me talk a little bit more about self-monitoring. So that client is going to, or you will be doing food intake records. Record the foods that you eat and make sure it's not just during the week, but also during the weekend, because we have a tendency to eat differently on the weekend than we do during the week. Maybe an exercise journal. So this helps you to track your behavior to see if you're following the plan and where you are deviating. The thing you want to look at is getting help and actions to take to prevent overeating, such as portion control, setting the realistic goals, nutrition education, increasing your physical activity, rewarding yourself. We like getting rewards. Who doesn't like to get a reward? But what you don't want to do is reward yourself with food. So let's say you lost 5 pounds. You don't want to say, ooh, let me get some ice cream and cake and reward myself. Think of other things that you can do to reward yourself. I know for me, a reward would be, I'm going to get my nails done, or I may get a haircut or something like that. Social support, very important when you are trying to follow a weight management plan, because you want to follow a plan that's a lifestyle. This is not a weekend rodeo. You want to sustain these behaviors so you can get the positive results on a regular basis. Social physical activity, you definitely want to include that. We know that that works. And your physical activity, you don't have to run a marathon. You don't have to be the best skier in the country, but do something that just gets you to move. Interesting. Group contacts or group counseling communities versus individual contacts. Individual contacts can get some results, but it seems to be even more effective if you have those group contacts. Now, I would promote a combination, because sometimes the person needs more special attention. Boss Battle Academy, you will get the special attention, plus you will get the group contact. You're in a community and you can share things within your community and encourage one another, but If need be, you can get some individual counseling, but I like a combination. But the group sessions are very effective. Increase your fiber foods. I've done a whole video on plant foods and weight loss and I talk more about increasing your fiber foods in that video. Calories. Definitely, that's core. Reducing calories. So if you're normally taking in 2,000 calories and you reduce it to 1,500 calories, you're going to be seeing some changes. Now, there are other methods that are effective that I'm not going into because I'm going to do a show just on those by themselves. I will talk about the Mediterranean diet, which is good. I will also talk about intermittent fasting. And I'm going to do a program on gut health and weight loss. So I'm not going to include those in this session, but those are some things that work, and I wanted to share that with you. Definitely share me with your family and friends. I'm trying to grow my community, and definitely subscribe and like me. And in the comments, if there's something else that you want me to cover in the area of diet and health, I especially do a lot of information on weight management. Put it in the comment below. Well, I look forward to seeing you next show. I'm Daz. I'm out. See you next show.